We're almost ready to start the committee of the whole. Did you want to participate in that? Okay.
Good?
Yes, sir.
Clerk Paul, could you call committee hall to order, please?
Lennon?
Here.
Boywood?
Here.
Lisa?
Here.
Hey.
Here.
Pabon? Louise? Arnella?
Here.
Carmichael?
Here.
Sutton present here.
I'll make a motion to excuse Alderman Ruiz.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fate to excuse Alderman Ruiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we have 3 items on the committee of the whole. The first I want to point out, I put a letter on your desk today from our Berwyn Emergency Management Coordinator, Tony Loretto, about the NIMS certification that we each have to have as elected officials. We'll be also doing that with the department heads, but we do have some new elected officials. Take a look at it, read it. He'll be here for committee of the whole on the 27th for questions, but there are certain requirements that we can all qualify. So if there's any FEMA assistance and we're all certified, the certifications go to the clerk's office so she keeps a record of them. So take a look at it, read it over the next 2 weeks. If you have questions, he'll be here on the 27th to answer any questions for you. Okay? All right, first we're going to do the Finance Director, Ben Daish, with the Enterprise Lease. Ben?
Thank you, Mayor. Hello, everybody. In our efforts to continuously seek out opportunities, not only for cost reduction, but as well as to be able to better utilize best practices for budgeting, I would like to present Matt DeLond, as well as our Public Works Director, Bob Schiller, for perhaps an opportunity to benefit our budget, not only for 2021, but perhaps over the next 10 years. Matt?
Thank you. Can you guys all hear me? Or?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So thanks for the introduction, Ben. We partner with over 65 other municipalities in Illinois and Northwest Indiana. Most of you, I think I've met or talked to previously about the program. So if you haven't heard much about it or have questions, I'm very happy to help answer those either today or at a later date and make myself available, cell phone, email, etc. But today was going to be kind of a high-level overview of the program, what the benefits you can expect to be for Berwyn, as well as what our kind of our next steps would be. So the first 3 pages here are just references. Again, just showing that you would not be any kind of guinea pig coming into the program. This is a well-established program that works. We're also partnered with purchasing cooperative called Sourcewell, which you guys are a member of. Many municipalities have taken advantage of that partnership through Sourcewell, making the partnership very easy. All of these references are on here, not just to show, but also to say if you guys wanted to speak to any of them at any point, obviously those can be made available to you. So the ones you probably know off the bat are City of Chicago, CTA, some other local ones would be Oak Brook, Burr Ridge, Lisle, Western Springs, etc. So a little bit of background on Enterprise. The reason our programs work so well is because we own and operate our own fleet of 2 million vehicles. That provides us vast resources, knowledge, expertise, analytics, and recommendations to our customers, and a lot of that comes from the fact that we own and run our own fleet. All those recommendations get funneled down to our government customers. We found that the same things we're doing for our fleet to drive down costs apply as well to best practices for government fleets. The information for the Sourcewell partnership is all online and public, so pricing information, contract information is all available online. You can find that just by doing a quick search on Enterprise Fleet Management and Sourcewell, or I'm happy to provide the link to that partnership as well. really what we're looking at is a few key objectives. I'm not going to read them off. You guys can all read them if you want to, but really it comes down to more sustainable programs, more consistent and sustainable budgets, and replacing more vehicles per year than currently are being replaced. In my experience, just kind of speaking frankly, I've been doing this for a while. Most municipalities buy a few vehicles per year. They kind of run those vehicles into the ground, and what happens is vehicles get older, the fleet gets older, the average age and mileage of the fleet gets higher, and that in turn drives costs up for operating the fleet. So operating expenses like fuel and maintenance continue to increase. That's kind of the situation. That happened to be the situation in Berwyn as well. It's kind of the status quo in the government space. We kind of take that and flip it on its head and say, if we can replace these vehicles where they're still worth a good amount of money, utilize our flexible funding to fund those vehicles, get more vehicles per year, we can start to flip or cycle vehicles more frequently, which in turn would drive down your total cost of ownership. A visual example of that is this simple cost and time chart right here you can see. So the typical municipal replacement window is going to be out there on the right, where your fuel and maintenance outweigh the value of the vehicle. I think that's probably a pretty common story that we see most of the time with government vehicles is the cost to keep that vehicle on the road is typically more than the cost of the vehicle at the end of its life, 10, 12, sometimes 15 or 20 more years, or 100,000, 200,000 miles. So you can see there is actually a sweet spot, that optimal time to replace that vehicle, and it's different for a police squad vehicle fully upfit than it is a F-150, right? In Enterprise, since we own our own fleet and we have all the recommendations through our fleet planning software and our team of local dedicated people that you would have available to you, we're going to help you find the optimal time to replace all the vehicles in fleet and then help execute that program. So we have that kind of laid out, and we've gone through that with staff. But this is really high level. What we're aiming for is the sweet spot. If you take one thing away from this presentation, is there is a sweet spot in each vehicle's life cycle where it makes sense to get out of that vehicle, take advantage of a low buy. You can see the depreciation there for what a retail consumer might buy the vehicle for versus a government entity. You guys qualify for significant government incentives, which drive down your total cost, your total depreciation. And if we can sell the vehicle at $12,000 or $10,000 versus $1,000, you simply reduce your total depreciation, in turn reducing your total cost of ownership. To do that, instead of paying for the full vehicle cash, which we can do, most of our customers don't do that. I would say 100% of my customers and about 90% of our customers in Chicagoland and across the country take advantage of what's called an open-ended equity lease. So sometimes I say the word lease and it becomes a dirty word. Everyone's had a bad experience with the dealership style lease. That is not what this is. It's a very different lease. There's no mileage restrictions, no wear and tear penalties, no set contract length or term you're locked into. You can get out of the vehicles at any time. You have multiple options at the end of the lease to get out of the vehicles, buy them out, extend them, etc. But really the benefit is you're building equity into the vehicle so that at the end of the term you have a balance of equity that you own on that vehicle, much like you'd build equity into a house. And then you sell that, and if the vehicle's worth more than what you owe, that's your equity. That equity will then go towards driving into the next replacement vehicle, and you're essentially self-sustaining your own budget or fleet that can fund more vehicles per year than traditionally, where you buy 3 or 4 vehicles a year, you may be able to fund 20 vehicles a year through this model. So without going too far in the weeds on this, that's kind of the idea there. That's what we're recommending. In the back end, we're actually going to sell the vehicles for our customers. You can see in 2019, 2020, pretty much every year, Enterprise sells over 1 million vehicles every single year. So we're well positioned to sell these vehicles, not only find the right time to sell them, but to actually execute on the actual sale of the vehicles. We don't sell typically at auction or just trade the vehicles in. We have an extensive network that we use to sell our own vehicles. It's a wholesale network that we're selling directly to dealers, which allows us to get better returns. You can see there we're 112% over Black Book, which is the kind of the culmination or average of all vehicles sold at auction. We're typically better by about 12 to 15%. And we really only go to auction about 15% of the time. And this is really how the program works, is we're not only we're going to advise you on the best time to sell, we're also going to sell that vehicle for a higher value than you may be able to do on your own without investing considerable resources. And then, again, execution is everything. So we're going to become your accountability partner, your fleet management financial planner, if you will. And all the data that is on the vehicles, odometers, age, mileage, et cetera, annual mileage trends, That all gets tracked right in our website in one easy-to-use portal. This is all included in the cost of working with Enterprise, as well as the mobile application, which is free for all drivers. So the website and the mobile app are really the technology kind of interfaces that you'll see the program through, as well as getting 2 or 3 meetings every single year with your Enterprise fleet team, and bringing more recommendations every single year when things change, when we have a vehicle shortage like we do right now. That all comes to the surface. We bring those recommendations on what the best thing to do for the city is. So getting into what we're actually recommending for Berwyn, there's 116 vehicles total that are in the light-duty fleet today. 8 for building, 8 for fire. You can see the rest there. I won't read them. But what we did is we took the entire fleet and we analyzed it. We said, all right, if in this hypothetical world, if Enterprise owned all 116 vehicles and these vehicles are now sitting on our Enterprise lots and we own them, this would be our plan to replace these vehicles and why. And you can see the criteria up there in the top right. It's probably easier to see in your packets, but it'd be everything that's 8 years old and older today, or an odometer over 80,000 miles, and then 6 and 60, 4 and 40, et cetera, until we have all the vehicles kind of implemented into the Enterprise program in the next 5 years. So it is an aggressive approach, but the reason we took this approach is because we're trying to take advantage of the resale market today. Resale market has never been stronger in 20 years, so you guys are sitting on a very high value on a lot of these vehicles. So we recommended a very aggressive approach. The actual number of vehicles that we're going to replace this year is not going to be 64. It's going to be closer to about, I think, 20 vehicles total, somewhere around there, 18, 19, depending on budgets and things like that. But this is, what you're going to get every single year is a very substantial and comprehensive analysis from Enterprise that gives you the recommendations and gives you the data to make decisions. At the end of the day, it's up to you guys how many you start with, how many you do that year. I get the question a lot, so I'll just kind of put it out there that there is no minimum to start, and there's no minimum amount of vehicles that we hold you to every year to continue working with Enterprise. So if you start with 2 vehicles or 20, we're going to give you the same amount of recommendations, the same partnership, et cetera. Now, if we take the plan there, 64 vehicles in the first year, 23, 15, 4, and 10, follow that out for the next 10 years. What we've given you is a roadmap of what that would look like, including your capital and maintenance and fuel expenses, so capital and operating, combined with your total fleet budget. And again, I won't go through every number here, but your total 10-year savings would be $1.3 million by following the plan laid out. Again, any plan you start with is really going to provide value and starting to refresh the fleet, getting a lower total cost of ownership, lower age, lower mileage. That's really the goal. And then I'm sure, as Bob may mention, is there's obviously soft dollar benefits that we can't really quantify, which is, if you have a fleet that's on average 5 years old versus on average 10 years old, you're going to see benefits to safety, reliability, efficiency, productivity, et cetera, that we can't necessarily quantify.
That savings is calculated on today's value for a new purchase as opposed to what it might be in 5 years from now too, is that correct?
Correct.
So it'll be maybe a higher savings as prices go up on a regular purchase.
Yeah, and the model doesn't take that into account because you also have to take into account as those go up, the price of new vehicles will increase 1% to 2% per year. But correct. Yep. So that's kind of the high level version. So we don't have to go to too much detail, but considerable opportunity here for Berwyn, and I'm happy to take questions, and thank you very much for the opportunity to present.
Now, just so everybody here is aware, obviously the police department has the most vehicles that would be qualified in this program. Fire, not so many because they don't do trucks. Public Works, not so many, but Bob is also the fleet manager for all the city vehicles. So that's where those vehicles come in underneath Bob. So you've met with all 3 of those department heads as well as finance director. And gentlemen, you are looking at telling us that this is probably a better program. So let's hear your comments.
What this program will provide is it'll provide a more reliable fleet. It'll provide a fleet with less maintenance costs and less big ticket items. We will have less transmission repairs, replacements. We'll have less brakes, less tires, all of this to go through, as well as the environmental wear and tear on vehicles. A bunch of our vehicles sit outside. We don't have garage space for them, so they've got winter salt sitting on them. They sit out in the elements and things like that. We turn these vehicles over more often. We will have a more reliable vehicle and our maintenance costs will go down, and our maintenance efforts can be spread more evenly throughout the rest of the fleet.
Chief?
And the same goes for our department. To a lesser extent, we have the least amount of vehicles. However, normally what happens is I come to you when one breaks down and I need $40,000 to buy a new vehicle. We're getting to the point now where I have 3 of them that are getting to that age. Through this plan, that won't happen anymore. And we won't be putting out those big expenses all at once.
Now, Chief Semaglia, you had a question regarding some of the pass downs. Did you get your answers?
No, I didn't. I'm a little leery, only because we have, all of our vehicles that we use brand new on the line, the old ones we moved to the second, third, and fourth lines because we use them. That's what our auxiliaries go out in, that's what our backup cars go out in. So I don't know the cost of a full set of line cars. I don't know how we're gonna be able to keep the backup cars moving if we gotta turn the line cars over. You know what I mean? I have to do a little more research on the cost efficiency with that.
Yeah, and just to kind of quickly help answer that one. So we do have some customers that do what you were describing as kind of a cycle in the cycle. So it's, hey, we're going to replace the 10 frontline vehicles, mission critical vehicles, and then if we cycle those down into different departments or different applications, that's kind of what they do. We have some customers who do that, and then, at the end of the day, again, it's your decision, it's your vehicles. We'll give you the tools, the data, the recommendations every year as to, hey, if you want to make that decision, here's the financial impact. If you want to go this way, here's the financial impact, and then, you'll have that data. As we partner with companies throughout the partnership, year 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, et cetera, we learn more about the fleet, we gather more data, we can help make more educated decisions. But that doesn't have to change today, so.
I mean, we got backup cars for when our cars break down or get in an accident. I would have to look at, I know you were dealing with Commander Scarnamaglia from the police department, so I would have to look at the numbers he has and do a comparison. If we're gonna, we get the full line cars this year and we're paying, I don't know, whatever it comes out to.
Yeah.
And then next year, those get transitioned down into backup cars. We're still paying for those cars, and now we gotta pay for another set of line cars. So I think that the actual cost is gonna go up with us.
Yeah, so I've done that before for Berwyn. It's kind of similar, where it's like, hey, we're typically going to buy X amount of vehicles per year cash, and we compared that to leasing the same amount of vehicles or more vehicles per year. I think that originally they were going to do 3 on their own, 3 Tahoes per year. We showed them a program where they were going to replace 5 vehicles per year for the 15, do a 3-year cycle, and it actually was less cash outlay total. You take into account the resale and back end we're getting. So,
And this is Enterprise, right?
right.
We just leased some cars from Enterprise to do some culvert missions up in the north end of town, and we're getting bills for like $4,000 a month. So, it's expensive.
Is it rentals or?
We had a leasing agreement with Enterprise before, so that's what we went off of.
Yeah, I'd have to take a look at it.
Well,
Sounds like-
that's something that I think, Ben, you're gonna have to get the 2 of them together to look at those numbers.
I mean, we paid for them out of asset forfeiture because it was all gang and drug related, so it didn't
But-
cost the city anything.
I understand, but the fact of the matter is these questions have to be answered before we buy into this, and you have to satisfy the council that this is worth it for us. So
Right.
you need to get your answers, sit together with the police department, Scarnamaglia, the chief, and Ben, so that he can understand the equity value that you explained earlier and that stuff too, and how we could use these line cars further down and still not lose necessarily the kind of money that he's talking about right now.
What we were able to do is compile the actual expenditures for fuel as well as repair and maintenance over the last 5 years, and that became a starting point for the analysis, the 10-year analysis that you see. And the attractive thing for me is just not only the cost reduction, obviously, in finance, but of course the certainty that you have from the budgeting standpoint, and of course, even more importantly, being able to lift the burden from our, department heads as far as having to focus in on the fleet. Those are items that are.
Well, I know some of our vehicles that we have in the city here, the floorboards are gone. So I understand what you're saying, but since they're gonna be the main user of this program, we need to make sure that that's all satisfied. Any other questions from the alderman?
I did have one here.
Go ahead.
So as far as when they cars are needed, what is your turnaround time with those types of circumstances? Because obviously, every car is needed. So right now, I know that you have a huge shortage just because of the pandemic, but moving forward, I'm assuming that use of cars and rentals and leases are going to, obviously increase. What is, how well do you do that?
You mean like for like a short turnaround, like this vehicle broke down and we need one tomorrow kind of thing?
Well, like our public works directors, he's on call 24/7, he cannot leave without a car, so if this car breaks down or needs maintenance, how quickly can we get him a replacement car?
That's more of an internal item. We do our own maintenance, so when it comes to that, it's going to be, kind of like we do now. But in my end, I know if I have more dependable, lower mileage vehicles, I will probably reduce by one the overall public works engineering fleet.
So then this doesn't include maintenance?
This does not include maintenance. It's just
Okay.
like if you go out and buy a car, you pay a mechanic or pay Jiffy Lube to change the oil and all that stuff. We do it internally.
Okay, my apologies, I thought that was part of the capital.
It can be.
That's okay, it can be, yeah.
It can
We
be.
do offer programs for maintenance. We, like some communities take advantage of a fixed cost maintenance. So if we say we're gonna drive an F-150 for 5 years and 25,000 total miles, as enterprise, we have how many millions of data points? We say, all right, we know, we're comfortable with this amount of maintenance and repairs we think you're gonna end up spending. And we can fix that cost. Any extra cost is on us, but you pay that fixed cost per month, and then you can go to any local shops. But since you already have in-house, typically our government customers that start with in-house will keep the in-house maintenance that you
Well,
have
the police
today.
department doesn't go in-house, though. They go to local
Police
shops.
department goes outside. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'd have to look at that with respect to the police stuff.
Right.
Yep, so that program could work. But yeah, I mean, the idea is you're through attrition, we're gonna build this program and grow together. You're still gonna have spares, to kind of meet immediate needs. We can certainly help with short-term rentals, or we also, ideally we factory order the vehicles directly from the manufacturers. Right now, lead times are long, so we wanna order as much as we can for the next probably 12 to 18 months, because we don't know if vehicles are gonna get cut off, productions are gonna stop. I mean, you've probably seen plants being shut down, things like that, so we're planning ahead as much as possible. But we can acquire vehicles from dealers as well. So, within a couple weeks, we have a vehicle delivered. But that's really where the internal systems kind of fill that gap.
So for the most part, it's with the exception of the police line vehicles, the vehicles that we're using are standard off-the-lot type vehicles. The police pursuit vehicles are a different story. They have to be ordered special because of the modifications that are done to those to handle the type of job that they do. But the building department cars and the public works cars don't need to be pursuit vehicles. And even the CSOs and stuff in the police department don't need to be. So there is that opportunity as well. Whenever we order any kind of the interceptor or police pursuit vehicles, there's a long lead time because they're typically not stocked. And with the computer chip shortages and things like that, there's a long lead time for that kind of stuff. So you want to plan ahead and get your things ordered up as early as possible.
Any other
And
questions?
As far as accidents, we can't judge that. We just have to keep ourselves with an amount of backup vehicles. But if your vehicles don't break down as often, that keeps your vehicles on the road more, reduces the amount of times you need backup vehicles.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Chief, as far as like the police cars, the radios, the sirens, the lights, all that has to be transferred to each one then?
That all has to be
Or we get new
transferred.
ones each time as we currently do, or?
When the model of the car changes, sometimes the current stuff that we have in the car doesn't fit the new model.
Right.
So then we have to buy all new stuff.
Right.
And then we use the cars that's in as backup cars.
And
for
we'll
older
be
cars.
responsible for that, of course, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of built, I shouldn't say kind of, it is built into this model. So we're assuming $12,000 of average aftermarket. total.
Modifications? and-
Exactly, yeah, lighting, sirens, et cetera.
Okay, that's already
graphics.
built into your numbers?
Yeah, we're assuming that we're not reusing anything, so we're taking kind of a conservative approach, and we're assuming that every time we replace a police vehicle, we're adding $12,000 of aftermarket to that, when the case typically is we do reuse some equipment.
Okay.
So there's no restrictions there, I should say.
And you guys would be installing this?
We don't. We work with many upfitting partners that we have locally. You can use whoever you like to use today.
We
You
could
can do
use
it
who
in-
we want for that?
Yep. and
I
you can do
think
it
they
in-house
actually
as well.
use the company that the police department uses now. I think we talked about that.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
So no restrictions there either.
Any other questions?
I just
Go ahead.
I just need your name, and could you spell your last name for me?
Yeah, sure. It's Matt, M-A-T-T, and last name is Deland, D as in David, E-L-A, N as in November, D as in David.
Thank you.
All right, so if you can, as soon as you can, get together with the police department, work that out, and we can come back to us with what we're going to do here.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you for your
All
time.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next in line, we have our Director, CDBG Director, Regina Mendocino, with the 2021 Action Plan. Regina?
Good evening. I did place on your desks the CDBG map. This is the area that we can spend funds when it comes to infrastructure projects. We can't spend money outside of that shaded area. We anticipate that's going to change somewhat when we get the 2020 census data, census information. So we're going to update that map probably in a year or two or three, depending on how quickly we receive that information. So the 2021 action plan year begins October 1st of 2021 and ends September 30th of 2022. Our anticipated funding is $1,540,000, $456. $1,338,353 is the allocation from HUD for 2021. We have an estimated reallocation from program income and some projects that we anticipate some remaining funds that we can reallocate. If you look at our goals and our projected spending, 20% cap is for our payroll, our admin dollars. Generally, the staff salaries are covered 100% by this 20% cap. So staffing isn't, we don't use any city funds for our staff, okay? 15% cap is for social service agencies. We cannot spend more than 15% on, for agencies such as Sarah's Inn, the Children's Clinic, some of the other agencies we fund are Housing Forward for homeless shelters, so we have that cap. Basically, we fund public works improvements and infrastructure improvements. We've done lighting, water main, sidewalk, sewer, street improvements, minimal alley improvements over the past 9 years or so.
Geez, I thought I heard that we didn't spend anything since I've been in on sewers. I guess
Well,
that's wrong.
Actually, I kind of looked at some of that information, and since 2013, we have received a little over $11 million from HUD, okay, for CDBG. We have spent $8 million on lighting, water main, sewer, and street improvements. In those areas and other areas, like from the 2000 census. The 2019 map that you have, that was the updated areas that we could work on. So sometimes what the American Community Survey does is they'll remove an area that they consider as low mod and replace it in a different part of the city. So we've been working off of this map since 2019. It hasn't been updated since then. Okay. The anticipated amount of funding that we're going to use for infrastructure in the 2021 action plan is $932,786. This is going to cover sidewalk, sewer, and street. We still don't have the location. We're going to coordinate efforts with Public Works Department and the city to find out where it's the most needed. And so when we find that out, we'll create the environmentals and proceed with those locations.
Questions? It's on the agenda tonight, J1. Anybody have any questions? Okay, thanks, Regina.
Thank you.
If you do have questions as you think about this, please give Regina a call downstairs. She'll answer those questions. All right, Chief Hayes, you're the last one on the committee of the whole.
Good evening, everybody. I did set on your desk there a new packet. I'd like you to please take a look at that. It has lowered the original agreement by a couple $1,000, so that's why it's necessary for you to see that. So first of all, this has been competitively bid, compliant with state statute, so I wanted to stress that. This will be no increase to our current budget, and this will keep us on track of our fleet replacement, which we have a 10-year plan. Our frontline trucks and engines, ambulance, are the most important thing. We need to be able to rely on them to not break down on the way to calls. We're nearing 18 years old on this truck, and it will take over a year to build a new one. So we need to move on this now. Costs will be going up, and the build-out, like I said, is over a year. So we do have become increasingly fearful of this truck having bigger issues, more costly issues. So that's why I'm here today. We did extensive research on this truck, spanning a couple years. Our truck committee unanimously suggests this truck. Not only is it the least expensive, but it's also the best fit for us. If you see in the market research, we do have some unique issues here in the city with heights. And as you all know, the trucks are huge, and not all vendors can meet those requirements that we need. So that narrowed it down to two choices for us. And I did give you a comparison of those two choices. So like I said, we not only have the least expensive, but it's also the best fit for us for many reasons. So I request a motion to enter into a purchasing agreement with HGAC Buy and approve the purchase of this E1 ladder truck and the financing through REV Financial. And you do have all those, the terms of that lease there in front of you. If there's any questions.
So whoever makes the motion just has to use the new adjusted cost.
Yes, and I do need that specific language regarding the financing and the purchase because the lender requires that. Are there any questions?
So Tommy, when you purchase this truck, when would you need to purchase additional or replace others?
So how it works is, well, this one won't be ready for over a year.
No, I understand.
So we'll continue to keep maintaining this current truck until that time. And at that time, we'll assess whether it's worth anything, and we'll sell it at that time. But I can't even really enter into that now because we're so far out from knowing what the value is. We would not begin paying until the truck is delivered.
Are you asking about other trucks then to
Yeah,
follow
like
up?
You talked about your fleet, like.
So we have a 10-year plan. Next year, we will need to start this process again for an engine. For those of you that don't know the difference, the trucks are the big trucks with the ladders on them. The engines carry the water, the hose, things like that. That engine also will be within budget. We're staying on track with our plan. So you'll see me again in a year for that. And that's one of the reasons we went with this truck is the savings between the two is about 2/3 the cost of our next engine. So it's significant. That next engine will be about, well, at today's price, about $600,000. And that's an engine as opposed to the cost of a truck.
Any other questions? Yes?
Chief, I had one. It's not a question, it's just that I wanted to go over the language that you need in, should the council decide to approve it?
Yes.
What would be the specific language?
Actually, I can hand you this.
Yeah, would you
Yeah,
please?
Yes,
And
I'll give
then,
this to Marge.
would you need like a copy of a certified minutes or something for the
No,
finance company?
How you usually send me
Okay.
the approval,
All right,
that'll suffice.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Okay?
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
I have nothing else for the committee of the whole. Anybody have any questions about anything on the agenda? If not, then I'd ask to, a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Led in by Ruiz, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
What
See
do
you
you
back at
need?
8 o'clock.
Do you want to just email me? And I can- Yeah, and I'll make sure that it's. Hey, Rob, are you still there?
Don't forget your microphones are on and it's still on YouTube.
Rob?
Okay, he told me.
Yep.
Tommy.
Okay. Well, will you give that to me afterwards so I can make sure that I, okay. Perfect. Perfect. Aw.
No interest. I have a call with,
All right.
Perfect. All right, that might help.
30 seconds is right. Did I do him right? You're all right. Huh? He's all right. What do you think I'm doing? No, he's got things done that I didn't do in 26 years. All right, run your wheel. Don't forget to go green on your mic.
Clerk Paul, can we call the council meeting to order, please?
Lennon,
Here.
Roywood,
Here.
Leisure,
Here.
Fate,
Here.
Pabon,
Here.
Ruiz,
Here.
Arinella,
Here.
Carmichael.
Here.
8 present, Mayor.
Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and please remain standing?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could please keep in our thoughts and prayers the family of Maria Perez, who recently passed. She's the aunt of Raul Perez, one of our Berwyn police officers, and our auxiliary sergeant Alex Perez, and also Juanita Helwig, who is a former police dispatcher and the mother of our secretary in the administrative secretary in the fire department, Dawn Thomas. And please keep in our prayers the men and women we have on the street tonight. Thank you. If anybody wishes to address the open forum, please step forward to the gate. State your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Jenna Musselman Palace. I live in the 3rd Ward at 2243 Euclid, but I'm reading a statement via Andrea Monday, who couldn't be here today. Dear City Council, as the former chair of the Diversity Commission, in which you are voting to codify tonight, I want to briefly address some concerns and questions I have with the commission being codified. I expected to see supporting documentation with this request from Alderman Ruiz that would clarify the commission's mission, values, goals, and terms qualifications for being a member, including an outline for training and appointing new members. I'm concerned that this commission continuing to function without those things clearly defined. I believe everyone involved, or those paying attention to the commission, could see how much time was spent spinning in circles concerning these things. Each member had a different perception of why they were there, who they were representing, and what the expectations were of them. Beyond that, this commission will do nothing to truly affect equality in our community, equity in our community, if it has no power or the people with power on the commission are connected to any political party, while people who have challenged the city's actions are specifically kept away from the table. The last I followed, the Human Relations Committee was to assess this and other possible overlapping committees and commissions and find a way forward. Why all of a sudden is this back up for vote at City Council with no additional information or documentation? It seems to me to be an effort to remove power from the Human Relations Committee, now led by an alderman not affiliated with Mayo Lavero's party. I would love to see a diversity, equity, and inclusion commission to be successful in Berwyn. To me, there is truly no point in codifying this commission without any structure to support it and assure its independence. Thank you, Andrea Monday.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the open forum? Alderman, I'm sorry, Clerk Paul?
Yeah, Mayor, in my capacity as Secretary for the Berwyn Health District, I just wanted to let everyone know that as of today, 7,935 Berwyn residents had been diagnosed having COVID-19 since January 2020. A total of 118 deaths occurred among our residents due to the disease. December 2020 and January 2021 were our 2 most deadliest months since the onset of the pandemic. But I'm sitting here very pleased to let you know that as of today, only 15 reported cases are occurring here in Berwyn, compared to July of 2020, which had a total of 65. I'm even happier to let you know that June 2021 was the first month where there were no Berwyn deaths because of COVID-19. So far in July, we haven't had any either. Berwyn Health District has vaccinated more than 500 people since January of 2021, and we had a COVID outreach team which was primarily tasked with making sure that businesses and restaurants were compliant with the mitigation requirements. They've now been retasked in order to go door to door, letting people know that they can come to the Berwyn Health District for vaccination. They're also identifying people who are homebound and haven't yet been vaccinated. We've vaccinated about 54 homebound people now, and we received names from Cook County Public Health as well as Alivio so that our staff nurse can go out to help them. We also used those same staffers in order to go out during the recent difficulties that residents had with water in the 5th and 6th Ward, and they knocked on doors and provided 5-gallon jugs. So I just wanted to let you know how happy we are to be an active part of the team here in Berwyn to address issues that arise within our residents. Thank you.
And the city is very happy also. Thank you. Anybody else have anything for open forum?
I just want to just make a quick statement and thank the partners who joined me to have the recycle event this weekend, Saturday, at St. Mary's Cells parking lot. It was a great success. It was so successful that I regret we had to close down 30 minutes early due to the truck being full to capacity. We had many families drop off electronics, many outdated electronics. So I'm hoping families have more room in their garages to park their cars now. And we hope to do this again, but I just want to thank our co-sponsor, St. Mary's Cell Parish, Marcelino, MWRD Commissioner Marcelino Garcia, and the Cook County Sheriff's Department, and of course, our wonderful Berwyn Police Department Auxiliary who man traffic for us. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none. Item C1, please.
Item C1 are the minutes of the COW Committee of the Whole meeting and the regular City Council meeting of June 22nd, 2021.
I will make a motion to approve the Committee of the Whole meeting and regular City Council meeting of June 22nd as presented.
Second.
Okay, C1 is the Committee of the Whole meeting and the public hearing. C2 would be the regular meeting.
Okay,
So we have two different communications on.
so I'll make a
If you
motion.
can amend your motion, yes.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Committee of the Whole meeting and public hearing of June 22nd as presented.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fay, to approve the minutes for the Committee of the Whole meeting and the public hearing on June 22nd, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item C2, please.
Item C2 are the minutes of the regular meeting of June 22nd, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular City Council meeting minutes of June 22nd as presented.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fay, to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 22nd, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item D1, please.
Item D1 is a bid award deferred from June 22nd, 2021.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the recommendation of Director Schillers for the Berwyn project, the bid tabulations, and concurs with Terra Engineering's recommendation to award the Pan Oceanic for $13,869 and $13,869.69 for the contractor engineering, Joel Kennedy Construction, Austin Tyler, Martum, Boulder, and Benchmark for the Depot District underground utility improvement projects.
Second.
Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the recommendation of Director Schiller and award the construction of the Depot District Underground Utility Improvements Project to Pan Oceanic for $13,869,069, the low bidder. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Arinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item E1, please.
Item E1 is a communication from the BDC, which was also deferred along with an ordinance An ordinance amending table 1246.04-A, the C1 district requirements within section 1246.04, mixed-use district requirements of Title IV zoning of Part 12, planning and zoning of the codified ordinance of Berwyn relative to interior side yard setbacks in the C1 neighborhood mixed-use zoning district.
I will make a motion to adopt and approve the BDC's recommendation of the 3-foot setback required in the C1 district when abutting residential use of residential districts, as affix the necessary signatures and send it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fate, to adopt the ordinance as recommended by the Berwyn Development Corporation for the C1 district requirements regarding the setback. Adopt the ordinance, affix the necessary signatures, and place it on its way to passage. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Nay.
Ruiz?
Nay.
Arinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Nope.
5 ayes, 3 nays.
Motion carried. Item F1, please.
Item F1 is a communication from the mayor regarding resignation and appointment of a member of the Berwyn Library Board.
I move that we approve the mayor's appointment of Antoine Evans to the recently vacated seat on the Berwyn Library Board.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Lennon, to approve the recommendation of Antoine Evans as a member to the vacant library board seat, replacing Erica Corona Owens, who did a tremendous job for the library board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Mr. Evans?
I don't think so. Congratulations, neighbor.
I don't think you have to be sworn in. I thought you did. That's why I called you. Tammy? That's okay. All right, the clerk will swear you in.
Well, I can do it right now. We'll get your credentials to you as soon as possible. Please raise your right. Okay. I was swearing the wrong person. Do you, Antoine Evans, having been appointed to the library board, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and perform your duties as a library board member to the best of your abilities? Please say so. So help you God.
So help you God.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ann. Item I1, please.
Item I1 is a communication from Alderman Ruiz.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second, I lost my page. I'm very discombobulated today. I'd like to make a motion to refer this matter to the Public Works Committee. I feel that we could definitely work on creating some partnerships and improving the process of communication and resources in the event of another water outage, and I'd like to invite the Berwyn Health Department to join that meeting in those discussions.
Can I ask that you invite also the Communications Division of the Mayor's Office?
Absolutely.
So they can put some bullet points together when you guys decide what you want to do?
Absolutely, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Second.
Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Lennon, to refer to the Public Works Committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item I2, please.
Item I2 is a communication from Alderman Ruiz regarding implementation of Diversity Commission.
In regards to this matter, I just kind of, please bear with me as I just share a little bit of the history, just to kind of bring it up to date. I know it's been a while since we discussed Diversity Commission, and we also have a lot of new members here that are not familiar with its history. So as some of you may know, the Diversity Commission was actually created as an ad hoc committee, and it had a specific charge, and that was to determine whether racial profiling was happening in our Berwyn Police Department. I'm very happy to say that we completed that task very successfully. And we presented a report to city council members. And along with that, we also made recommendations to the police department for creating more transparencies and improving their processes, which most of those recommendations were implemented during that process. Because it was so successful and because we were able to improve transparency and the way that we want to partner with our community, I felt that it was important to codify the ad hoc committee to actually being a diversity commission here, so that we as a city could definitely be a leader in diversity, equity, and inclusion. When that agenda item was up on the floor, it was brought up by one of our council members, who unfortunately is no longer with us, that there could be some overlap in the scope of work between the Community Relations Committee, the Community Relations Commission, the Human Relations Committee, and the proposed Diversity Commission. And so at that meeting, we unanimously voted to allow the ad hoc committee to pursue those conversations and determine whether these groups were going to be combined, or was it better for them to remain independent. Unfortunately, due to a chain of events, that work was not completed, and that member is no longer with us. But I still feel that it is critical that we, as a city, who our messaging is we believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion, that we actually have processes reviewed. And it's been very blatant in the last couple meetings that we are a little antiquated in some of our verbiage and some of our policies, and that we should definitely update those. And the need for a DEI commission is critical. And so at this point, I'd like to refer this discussion to the committee of the whole, and to definitely finalize this once and for all. It's been delayed for way too long, and it's very critical that we move forward with this. So I'd like to refer this matter to the committee of the whole for finalization.
Second.
Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Leonard, to refer to the committee of the whole for discussion and finalization to develop the Diversity Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Mayor, can I just make one last statement?
Yes, you can.
In regards to the communication by Ms. Monday, who, yes, was a former chair of the Diversity Commission, some of her comments I do agree with, especially about empowering the commission and having a clear vision, and those were discussions that we had hoped to bring during our last circle of conversations when comparing all different commissions and committees. Although I would like to say that I do agree with her in that point, I don't agree with her in the fact that there were commission members that were confused about the visions and the goals. Many of our members, in fact, all of our members, except for Ms. Monday, were the ones that were confused about the visions and the goals. And so I just want to state that for the record. I look forward to finally getting this on track and moving forward with progress.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item I3, please.
Item I3 is a communication from Alderman Ruiz, the deferred item K19 from June 22nd, 2021.
Boy, I feel like a celebrity today. I just want to say I'd like to make a motion to move forward with this per the mayor's recommendation to meet with the Business Owners Remax Partners. We were able to come with a really great agreement on the use of the basin for 12-hour day. What they're going to do, the compromise is that instead of utilizing the entire space for all 12 hours, at 9 o'clock, what they're going to do is open up the west half of the basin for residents to park, for those that utilize that for overnight parking. And then they'll close off the other half by 11 according to our noise ordinance, and they'll stop all activities at that time. So I'm really happy to see that we could find a win-win and create a really good balance for our business owners and our residents. So I'd like to move a motion that we approve it with those modifications.
Second.
Motion by Ruiz, second by Fay, to approve the event for September 18th, 2021, according to the modifications as per emphasized by Alderman Ruiz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item I4, please.
Item I4 is a communication from Alderman Carmichael regarding the American Legion Annual Picnic.
Make a motion to approve the American Legion annual picnic event request as written.
Second.
Motion by Carmichael, seconded by Lennon, to approve the American Legion event as presented for August 7th, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item I-5, please.
Item I-5 is a communication from Alderman Lennon regarding the Halfway to St. Patrick's Day event request.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this event, send it to the departments listed, police, fire, and public works, and move forward.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fate, to approve the James Joyce event for September 25th. Send it to the appropriate departments for assistance and move forward. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item I-6, please.
Item I-6 is a communication from Alderman Arenella regarding the front yard block lawn casual sales event request.
I would like to make a motion to approve the 2200 block of Grove front yard sale.
Second.
Motion by Arenella, seconded by Lennon, to approve the front yard sale, block sale for 2200 block of Grove for August 28th and 29th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J1, please.
Item J1 is a communication from CDBG Director Mendocino and a resolution approving the City of Berwyn's annual action plan for program year 2021 for community development block grant CDBG funds and for authorization to submit same to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development.
I will make a motion to adopt this resolution, affix the necessary signatures, and send it on its way to passage.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fate, to adopt the resolution, affix the necessary signatures, and place it on its way to passage. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Arenella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. J2, please.
J2 is a communication from Fire Chief Hayes with a germane item distributed today regarding permission to purchase a new ladder truck.
I move to concur with Fire Chief Hayes in the approval to enter into a purchase agreement with HGAC by a nationwide government procurement service to purchase the E1 ladder truck with financing through REV Financial Services for a total cost of $1,093,577.66.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Lennon, to concur with Chief Hayes and allow the purchase agreement to be entered into with HGAC by Nationwide Government Procurement Service, purchasing the E1 ladder truck, financing through REV Financial Service for a total cost of $1,093,577.66. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Arenella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J3, please.
J3 is a communication from Police Chief Semaglia, a request to promote 1 sergeant to lieutenant.
I move that we concur with Police Chief Zamaglia's request to contact the Fire and Police Commission to promote 1 police sergeant to the civil service rank of lieutenant from the current Fire and Police Commissioner's eligibility list due to the disability of Lieutenant Vokak in accordance with the current collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the request of Chief Smaglia and allow him to contact the Police and Fire Commission to promote 1 police sergeant to the civil service rank of lieutenant from the vacancy caused by the disability of Michael Vokak. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J4, please.
J4 is a communication from Police Chief Semaglia, request to promote a patrol officer to sergeant.
I move to concur with Police Chief Semaglia in contacting the Police and Fire Commission to promote 1 patrol officer to the civil service rank of sergeant due to the vacancy caused by the promotion of a sergeant to the rank of lieutenant in accordance with the current collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
Motion by Leisure, seconded by Lennon, to concur with Chief Semaglia and allow him to contact the Police and Fire Commission for the promotion of 1 patrol officer to the civil service rank of sergeant due to the vacancy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J5, please.
J5 is a communication from Chief Semaglia, a request to promote one patrol officer to the civil service rank of sergeant.
I move to concur with Police Chief Semaglia in contacting the Police and Fire Commission to promote one patrol officer to the civil service rank of sergeant due to the vacancy caused by the disability of Sergeant Gray in accordance with the current collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Fate, to concur with Chief Semaglia, allow him to contact the Police and Fire Commission to promote one police officer to the civil service rank of sergeant due to the vacancy of Sergeant, by disability of Sergeant Carl Gray. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J6, please.
J6 is a communication from Police Chief Semaglia, a request to hire 6 probationary police officers from the lateral eligibility pool.
I move to concur with Police Chief Semaglia in contacting the Police and Fire Commission to hire 6 probationary police officers from the Police and Fire Commission's current lateral eligibility pool of candidates to replace the vacancies resulting from resignations, disability, and retirement in accordance with our current contractual agreement.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Lennon, to concur with Chief Semaglia, allow him to contact Police and Fire Commission to hire 6 probationary police officers from the current lateral eligibility list due to resignations and retirements. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item J7, please.
J7 is, J7 is a communication from Police Chief Semaglia regarding the purchase of 5 new vehicles.
I move to concur with Police Chief Semaglia to authorize the purchase of 5 vehicles to replace the old vehicles: animal control, prisoner transport, community service officer vehicle, evidence technician vehicle, and a police patrol vehicle, which are budgeted within the police budget, and approve the waiving of the sealed bid process to accept the attached proposal from Curry Motors Frankfurt, an approved vendor on the state bid contract list, at a total cost of $172,513.
Second.
Motion by Leja, seconded by Lennon, to concur with Chief Semaglia, allowing him to purchase 5 vehicles through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative, waive the sealed bid process for a total amount of $172,513 for all 5 vehicles. All those in favor, and to call the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Nay.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Arnella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
No.
6-2, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J8, please.
Item J8 is a communication from the Public Works Director Schiller regarding approval of Depot District Underground Utility IEPA loans.
I motion that we approve the recommendation, Director Schiller's recommendation for the Berwyn Depot District Underground Utility Improvement IEPA Low Interest Loan, loan number L175289, in the amount of $7,879,600 at the interest rate of 1.35% for 20 years. Loan number L175290 in the amount of $212,676.76 at the interest rate of 1.35% for 20 years, and loan number L175902 in the amount of $493,610.90 at the interest rate of 1.15% for 20 years.
Second.
Motion by Ruiz, seconded by Lennon, to concur with the recommendation of Director Schiller and approve the IEPA low-interest loan agreements for the 3 loans as enunciated for the amounts as stated in the motion for the Depot District Utility Project. All those in favor, on the call of the roll.
Lennon?
Aye.
Roywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Pabon?
Aye.
Ruiz?
Aye.
Aranella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. Item J9, please.
J9 is a communication from Library Director Sheedy, a request to purchase new service desks.
I will make a motion to concur with Library Director Tammy Sheedy and the Library Board to waive the sealed bid process and approve the purchase from Library Furniture International for the amount of $64,768.35.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Ruiz to concur with Director Sheedy and allow her to purchase the library furniture from Library Furniture International from the TIPS Purchasing Cooperative, waive the sealed bid process to be paid from the Reverka Endowment Fund account to the total amount of $64,768.35. All those in favor on the call of the roll.
Lennon.
Aye.
Roywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Fate.
Aye.
Pabon.
Aye.
Ruiz.
Aye.
Arinella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
8 ayes, Mayor.
Motion carried. The consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Lennon, seconded by Fate to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Aldermanic committee meetings. Alderman Lennon.
Call it a chair.
Alderman Roywood.
Call the chair.
Alderman Leisure.
Call it the chair, but I do have a board meeting Wednesday, July 21st, 6 PM at Pierre Banquet Hall, 3237 Harlem Avenue.
Alderman Fate.
Call the chair.
Alderman Pabon.
Call the chair.
Alderman Ruiz.
Call the chair.
Alderman Aaronella.
I'd like to call an administrative meeting for August 3rd, 6 PM here at City Hall.
Who do you want invited? Do you want anybody
Alderman
invited?
Lennon and Alderman
No,
Lee.
besides your committee, did you want any department heads or anybody invited?
Oh, yes. Ruth,
The city administrator, Ruth?
City Administrator Ruth. yes.
Okay, all right. Alderman Carmichael?
Call the chair.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Lennon, seconded by Carmichael. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
See ya. Shortages, right?